All right, so you're back with Brian in the Apex Gamer channel. We're not doing another fighter request today for 12 o'clock because I actually, while I was waiting for my video to render, I just decided to play the game just out of just to play the game, not to be playing the game, to be recording fighter requests, not to be picking, the guys that are on my list. I just wanted to get in there and move around and move and shake and play and try to get some wins, try to get some fights, try to work my way back up because it's been a long time since I've actually grinded to try to get back to the top 100. So I'm in the top 300, something like that, something right outside the top 100. Basically, I would need to have 1,600 points. I think 1,628 is the lowest point score of anybody in the top 100, and I'm at 1572 or 1478, something like that. It's there's a 70 situation going on in there. So basically, I'm either right below 15 or right below, I'm right below 15. That's what it is. I'm at 1470 something another. So I'm a fight away from 1500, and then I got to go another from 15 to 16, and from 16 to 1628. So basically, whatever. So because I don't grind that often, and I oftentimes play those fighter requests, so I end up trading wins and losses trying to get these requests. Like when I was doing Stefan Struve, I fought a lot of the big name guys, the guys you expect to fight, if I fought I fought those guys, the guys you expect to see when I was playing the Struve. So when I was playing the Struve, to get 2 wins, I might have traded 2 wins for 3 losses just to get that with Struve. So that's kind of common when I pick lower rated fighters or fighters that I'm not all that familiar with. So when I run into situations, it ends up like that. But I have these fights that I saved from my run, just because I wanted to show you guys these fights and kind of highlight them, and not really highlight them, but just kind of show you what I was doing as opposed to doing a fighter request, and kind of play by play through them. That one with the Johnny Hendricks ended pretty quickly. It ended quickly because the Johnny Hendricks player, if you notice, if you were paying attention to the gameplay and just kind of mildly focusing to what I was talking about, or go back and rewatch it and mute my audio, whatever, but he was throwing the overhand running repeatedly, and I'm pretty sure he has that perk that makes the overhand do something special, and that was his strategy. He was running at me with the overhand and trying to land it repeatedly and doing nothing else, throwing overhands, running head kicks. So he gave himself up real easy. I thought that was interesting, that was the approach this guy took in ranked against a player, any player. I thought that was a weird approach. But let's jump into the next fight video. Okay, we're here with the next one. I captured about 6 of maybe 9 fights that I fought. I want to say I fought 9. I may have fought 9 to 10 fights. And the 10th one I'm going to use for something different because it was a longer fight, and it has a different purpose and a different significance. So I'll use that one for a different reason because it brings up a different conversation altogether. But these are more so just not really highlights, but they're not highlights. They're just fights that were fun. And I get to kind of show you some of the things that I was trying to do and show you some of the opponents that I saw today when I was playing, because like I said, I don't typically, I usually wake up and I do the fighter request videos, and then I don't get back on this game for the rest of the day. So I'll get my videos done, and then I kind of play other things just to get my mind off of this. So I play a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get good at a lot of different games right now. I'm actually slacking because there's a couple games that I should be playing. I should be trying to get better at Dragon Ball FighterZ, but I haven't really been doing it. I'm gonna have to block that out in edit. I'm gonna have to block out his name because I paused the game to see who it was. I didn't know if he was AFK or what the situation was because he was watching the build up. So we're here with this fight. Let's go ahead and walk through it real quick, and then I'll continue the conversation about what I've been doing. But I hit him with a 2-3-2 there off of a body kick. He's kind of running at me with that body kick and then probing. I think he threw a body punch there. I'm not sure. But he rocks me, drops me with 2 uppercuts. Beautiful work. Looking good. Looking great. Doing good things. I hit him with the check hook as I saw him approaching, which is kind of common. A lot of guys that are doing that ducking hook strategy, they're looking for you to react before they duck. And that's what gives them the opportunity to slip underneath something, which is what they should be slipping under stuff. They should be slipping under punches. Obviously the threat is there. Boom. He shoots for a takedown, just out of the blind. I kind of knew that was on his mind. I had just fought a GSP who I fought to a decision. No, I think he might have eventually mounted me and got the finish. But I fought a GSP who was doing the thing where you duck forward and you kind of stay your head down for a really long time, and then you shoot for a power double. And I fought that guy all the way to the third round, rocked him several times, dropped him several times, and then eventually my character just couldn't take it on the arms anymore. So, like I said, that's why I don't upload my losses too often, because they're oftentimes not interesting. They'll just frustrate players. They'll make players see the like bad elements of the game and be like, "Oh my God, this game is like," you know, I don't want to portray that. Let me jump to the next fight. Okay, so this one I cut because this was another similar situation where the GSP was kind of like laying on top of me. But like I was saying, I don't particularly want to be the person. Like I'm not trying to be a whistleblower. I'm not trying to be the person screaming, "Oh, this is annoying," because that annoying thing might happen to me once out of every like 5 fights. And then the better players, you know, they're better players because they don't do these things the way that the players that aren't good at doing them are. Like somebody like if he gets on top of you, he will dominate, he will control position, he will block transitions. I mean, of course, he's doing it with a character who has high stats and it's usually pretty hard to get out from underneath him, but he's doing the right things offensively to be able to support what he's doing. He's not just racing to a down position, spamming elbows and let you transition all the way up, shoot for a takedown, spam elbows. And that's what the guy who beat me was doing. Every time he got back up, he would spam elbows and then race. I would get up from underneath him, hit him with some punches, put some stuff on him, and then he would shoot for a double leg with his head ducked again, and then spam elbows, you know, the whole 9 yards. That was his like go-to strategy. And that's why I said it's not that compelling. And I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna be the guy going barking at the top of my voice about, "Oh, these people need to be stopped." You know, that's not my thing. I mean, like I said, that might happen. I might play 10 fights, and 2 of those opponents might be like that. 2 of those opponents might be one of those guys just trying to get that win. Let's go ahead and jump to the next fight. Like I said, 2 guys might be like that. So it's not worth it. Like I've only had like 1 or 2 in the past week. I've only had 1 or 2 fights where it was like I took a loss and I was like, man, that's still such a good fight, and I kind of want to upload it, but I don't want it in this fighter request because it's a 5-round fight that ended, you know, and it ended, you know, it's a 5-round fight, and I'd have to throw that in there, and I'm like, I don't really want to throw that into a video that I'm aiming to keep at a certain time length. I'm not trying to like, I don't want a fighter request video to end up being like an hour because I had 2 fights, both went to the 3rd round or both went to the 5th round or whatever the situation is, and then another fight that went to the 5th that's just kind of there, you know. Of course, so it's like, I don't know. It's interesting, but I do have an idea. One of my subs hit me up and he was like, "Hey, you should show the losses because it shows your path." And I was like, I kind of have an idea for that. I just haven't had. I done the one fighter request this morning, the Brian Ortega video that should be out already, and I just fought 2 fights with him, and that was a done deal. So nothing there to show. So, but I do have an idea that I think I want to implement, and I just have to work it into the way I do these videos. I got a spin heel kick finish there over a Tyron Woodley very early in the fight. Rocked him once, hit him with a 1-2-1 on his hands, hit him with a spinning heel kick. I guess he thought his block was just so dominant that he was never going to get KO'd through it. So wham, right in the ear. Put my heel in your ear so you can hear the blood coursing through my foot. I spun that kick so fast that the blood rushed from my ankle to my heel, and you can just kind of hear it gurgling right as it hit him in the ear. So his last sound before he went unconscious was like, like, you know, he heard some water, like almost sound like you turn the faucet on. But let's jump to the next fight. Okay, so we're here at the next fight. Fighting the Gunnar Nelson. You know, this video is more of a free form, kind of chit-chatty, kind of hangout, almost like a hangout session, but I'm just kind of going through the footage that I captured. And I said I captured a fight that I haven't shown in this, and I won't show in this video because I have a different idea for it, because it brings up a different conversation, and that conversation is going to be one that I need clearer talking points. I don't know, not really. I don't really necessarily need clear talking points. I'm not going to write a script or anything, but it does bring up a very interesting question about the way people play the game and the way they perceive the game, the way they perceive technical versus just, you know, other things. Because I fought a guy and he was a technical player. He did know the correct responses for situations, and he did know how to be deliberate in those opportunities, but in the midst of all that, there was just a lot of time in between where there wasn't anything going on because he was being overly, well, not overly technical, but overanalyzing the situation that we were in. So that's going to be a different video that I'm going to walk you through and have that conversation. What is technical versus what is not necessarily technical? What is kind of an avoidance? I mean, I don't know. It's like when you watch video games, like when you watch esport games, the better the players are, the faster the game gets sometimes. And then the slower other games get, like Virtua Fighter. If you watch Virtua Fighter, the better players get faster. Marvel vs. Capcom, better players, the game gets faster. Street Fighter, game gets a little slower, but still, like, everything is like everything happens almost in a flash in those games, because technical in those contexts, you know, technical in that context is once a player is technical, they know the correct responses and they capitalize on the moments to the 100%. They don't necessarily just, you know, they're not technical in the sense that they're moving around and just kind of running and slowing down the game just to slow down the game. So that's different. Blew him up with another heel kick there. But yeah, I'll talk about that and I'll go through that fight. And I don't know when I'll do that video. It really just depends. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested in that conversation anyway, because if you're not interested in that conversation, if you have, you know, if you're okay with the status quo for what is considered technical versus what is considered not technical, you know, it is what it is. Let me know in the comment section though if that conversation is something you're willing to have, because realistically, what a lot of people perceive as being technical doesn't always feel technical. Sometimes it feels kind of like stalling, but that could be me. I do move around a lot, so my style is to move and look for opportunity, and opportunity I try to capitalize on it as quickly as possible to try to narrow out the field. So you can kind of see it in my style too, that I gravitate towards not so much being evasive, but being, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird topic, but let's jump into the next fight. We'll keep it moving. I have one more to show you. It's another slightly longer one. It's about 5 minutes. I skipped, and you can see me on the PS4 screen. Skip it to the next video in that one because, you know, I just kind of did it kind of freeform. But I'm fighting Jorge Masvidal. You know, he's a Cuban native. One of my favorite picks in the game, probably one of the guys I gravitate towards most in the game, just because he has a balanced skill set. Well, not super balanced, but balanced in the way that I like. Like he feels good to my hand. The things he can do, I don't forget about, because I know where he stands. I know where his combos are. I know the type of things I can and can't get away with him. So I kind of know him, and he feels good to my hand. And this player seems like he was pretty equipped for the situation. Like he plays with Masvidal as well. He looks like he probably plays with him a pretty good bit. He's throwing a lot of hand combinations, looking to press and pressure, move around, touch the body, box a little bit, keep it clean. So this is what I consider technical play, is when a player knows the responses, knows the actions, and is doing the right things in the right opportunity. Like I was standing still for just a split second, and he knew I wasn't going to move, so he hit me with a body hook. He knew I wasn't going to move there. He hit me with a jab leg kick, then he hit me with a combination. Like he knew that I had a hesitation. He saw that I was going to hesitate, or once the hesitation was there, he reacted instinctively, just with the right option. And that's kind of what I try to do. I try to split the situation, or I try to beat the situation before it happens. So it's like, that's how I perceive technical play. When I watch a video of someone playing the game, I'm not looking for a video of someone just kind of moving around and not really doing anything. I'm looking for someone who can close in on opportunity and navigate those waters and move through the technical elements that he needs to move through in order to make the correct decisions. Like he saw that I went to his body a couple times, so he immediately starts trying to hit me with an uppercut, because that's like the technical response from once someone starts to body shot you, is to just go ahead and try to stop them from ducking. Or when someone's shooting for 1,000 takedowns, if you can get that opportunity, like early in the video you saw I KO'd George St. Pierre when he shot for a mutant takedown from a field away. I knew it, so I hit him, and I knew he was gonna, like right before I rocked him, I knew he was gonna do a ducking uppercut. I just kind of saw it in his like, I don't know, kind of felt it, like he was gonna duck and throw the head kick. I mean, duck and throw the uppercut. So I just slipped off to the side, hit him with the hook. I'm the one in red shorts, so he's doing good work right here. But like I said, I ain't never worried. You know how I play this game. I ain't never worried. He's doing good work. He's throwing a lot of different stuff and things. He likes spinning kicks, so I like spinning kicks too. So, you know, look out for that. But he's doing good work. He's mixing it up. You can tell he knows the character. So it's kind of almost like playing against a player with my same like goals and mindset. So it was a fun fight. That's why I thought it was entertaining, and that's why I thought it was worth bringing. And not so much in the conversation of, you know, just talking about technicality and where being technical works and how to perceive technical versus not technical, because not technical, it looks very different in this game than being technical. Being technical, there are opportunities. You know, there's counters to almost everything. There's vulnerabilities to almost everything. So almost everything has an opportunity for you to have an actual response slash punish slash, you know, whatever, you know. So you can kind of get that out of this. And this fight, it's kind of like watching me fight me, but as Masvidal versus Masvidal. So it's literally like a mirror match. Like the player has the same sort of mindset that I have, has the same sort of like determinism and skill set. But you know, it's all about weathering that and finding your opportunity. Even when you're faced with something that seems familiar, you have to find your opportunity within it. Sometimes it's a little harder. Like, obviously, if you play a guy who's ridiculously aggressive and they know the counters and they know the like the quick punishes, and they pick a character like George St. Pierre who's got ridiculous power, or they pick a Nurmagomedov, and you know they kind of use the situation in their favor so quickly and so aggressively that unless you are picking a character of that same caliber, you're not going to be able to weather that for too long and for long enough to get a beat on it. And that happens all the time. Like I'll go out here all the time with a character that is lesser skilled, lesser stats, and I'll go up against somebody who's like ridiculously high skilled, like a high skilled character, and the player will know a couple quick reactions and a couple quick things they need to know, and they'll be able to counter something real fast and get me in a rock, get me in a health event, and then try to put me in a mix-up situation real quick. Like I tried to spin on him right there. He hit me with a 1-2. He saw it coming. He hurried up and closed that distance. Hit him with the hook uppercut. Touch him with the 1-2. Waiting for him to do some things. Hit him with the uppercut hook. Just kind of threw it out there, let him know it was real. Tried to spin and heel kick him as he got up. Didn't work, but he came back with a 1-2. You know, so this is what I mean by looking for opportunities and trying to close out the exact opportunity with the correct punish. And when it happens with two fighters of comparable stats, you have kind of a time to, like a lay period that you can kind of like wade through. Like I know he can rock me here, and I know he can drop me here, but I know he's not going to knock me out because I know his character isn't just like that overwhelmingly powerful. So I tried to spin a heel kick once. Didn't work. He tried to hurry up and throw like a lazy jab, like a hurt jab. He threw one of them, and I spun him again. I knew he was gonna. I could tell by the way he had been playing, because he hadn't been blocking as he was backing up on the health events. Like once he get hit with the health event, he kind of like starts trying to slip and trying to move and trying to like hurry up and get out of the distance. So he tried to block after he threw the jab. Like he realized he made a mistake that time, and I closed in on it and I finished him off. So that's the conversation that I choose to have for this video. The other video that I'll show you will be a more in-depth breakdown of technical versus not technical play and kind of the things I view as technical. And I don't know, I mean, you don't have to share my line of thought when it comes to what is technical and what you want to see and what you consider technical play. But in my mind, technical is knowing the opportunity, punishing the correct situation, and winning the micro battles. Technical is not like a whole bunch of really slow, like if the game slows down to a screeching halt and the opportunities become so abysmal that no player can do anything, it's technical. It's technical. It's not fun to watch, and it's very limiting, and sometimes technical battles turn into that, and that's okay as long as you can still close out an opportunity. As long as when an opportunity presents itself, you have the ability, the skill set, and the wherewithal to close that opportunity and get it finished. Because otherwise, a fight goes to the cards and you were losing in those, like say you ran into 7 situations throughout the entire fight between 2 fighters and it was a 3-round fight. 5 of those situations you punished and ended in a knockdown. 3 of those situations your opponent punished but wasn't able to end in a knockdown or wasn't able to knock you out or finish you. If the fight goes to the cards, even though you might have thrown way more strikes at your opponent trying to get to him, you won 5 of those exchanges and ended those emphatically, and your opponent only won 3 of those situations. I think I said 7 was the number. whatever the number was, your opponent won less of those exchanges and wasn't able to end them as emphatically as you. When the fight goes to the cards, more often than not, you are going to win that fight because you were able to put them in health events and cause knockdowns and get closer to finishing. And that's what it looks like in real life as well. Sorry, I'm choking a little bit, but that's what it looks like in real life as well. Like if you look at Robbie Lawler versus Carlos Condit, when Carlos Condit outlanded Robbie Lawler got the nod on the cards because the visual appearance of him doing more damage was enough to sway the judges in his direction for a 5-round fight in which he might have won 2 rounds in. I mean, realistically, he might have won 2 rounds statistically. And then, you know, kind of like gut check moment, won the 5th round, and you know, that swung it. But because he was able to capitalize when he finally was able to get opportunity, like Carlos Condit was raining in stuff on him, and then when he would hit Condit, he would send him flying away. And then, you know, same thing would happen again. Condit would come in raining on him and get hit and sent across the screen, you know, that sort of thing. Like that emphatic closing ability, that ability to find the opportunity and shut it down and try to close out on it. That goes a long way on scorecards. That goes a long way in your opponent's mind. That puts a lot of doubt in their head because they go, okay, I'm moving and shaking, and when I'm moving and shaking, I'm good. But if I miss any one thing, I'm going to the mats. That does a lot to your opponent because it starts to limit what they're gonna do, and it starts to put them in a situation where they find themselves in a box and they're like, okay, I know I can't jab from this distance because I know that's not getting through. I know I can't hook from this distance because I know he's getting under it. Or I know I can't shoot for a takedown because he has been throwing knees relentlessly. So once you've limited their situation and down to that like little box, now it's just all you. Now you can just move freely because you don't have that. You're not limited in that way. Like you can kind of look at your opponent and be like, okay, every time I move forward, he seems like he starts blocking his body. And that could have been because every time you move forward in the past, you landed a body kick while he was attempting to do something. So now he knows that every time you move forward, there could be a body kick. He's going to block body. That makes your 1-2 wide open. And now he's hit with the 1-2. He's got to react to that. Next time he sees you moving forward, he's in a 50-50. It could be body kick, it could be 1-2, and he doesn't want to take either one. So he's gonna have to do something. And you can just not do the 1-2 or the 1 body kick. You can come in 1 uppercut. He could change his mind and think, okay, if it's the 1-2, I'm gonna duck. If it's the 1 body kick, I'm still gonna duck and try to come up with the uppercut. You just come in with the 1 uppercut right on the chin, and that's because you put him in a situation where he had limited options and you took advantage of the situation and closed it out. That's technical mindset. That's technical play. That's at the highest level thinking. That is like setting traps and being able to finish those traps. Now to move around until your opponent eventually gasses, and then, you know, now you have all the opportunity because he couldn't hit you because you literally walked out of the way of all the strikes. That looks technical. It looks good, looks fun, looks pretty, but it's not necessarily technical. I mean, if you were every time he missed something emphatically, you hit him with some serious stuff and send him to the mats, that's a whole different conversation. But if you walked off and your opponent couldn't get to you and you couldn't do anything back to him in that instance, you're spending a lot of time just on the back foot, and you will lose decisions in this game like that. You will lose decisions really easily just sitting on the back foot. If you see an opportunity, take advantage, man. Take advantage of the opportunity the second you see it, the second you know that you have a response for that. Take advantage on that situation. That is the highest level play you can have, because this is a video game. Unlike real life, you can kind of position yourself to get a finish differently than you can in real life. In real life, they say don't force the finish. This is a video game. You can almost force the finish in the video game as long as you are winning the micro battles within the situation. Like a lot of guys, when you press them with a combination, you rock them, you start chasing them. They're going to take a couple on the hands and then they're going to slip. Some guys will take a couple on the hands, slip forward, throw an uppercut. So if you're going to win that micro battle and you're trying to force the finish, you know that there's a possibility that if you land a few on the hands, your opponent's going to duck. And the second they duck, you throw an uppercut. Or you come at them, you see them eventually duck, throw that uppercut. You throw a couple on their hands, wait for the duck, uppercut, block it. Now they're gassed and they're rocked and they just had a strike blocked. Then you go right back to running them, and fight oftentimes is over. Or you hit him with a hesitation step, like in one of my spinning heel kick knockouts in this video, I rocked the guy with a head kick, ran at him with the 1-2, hesitated on the 1, hit him with another 1 spin heel kick, and hit him with a head kick, knocked him out. It was all in the fact that I saw the situation, timed it differently, and just kind of reacted. You know, I just kind of allowed myself to use the timing to get that opportunity and still got the spinning head kick finish. So that's high level thinking. High level thinking is thinking and reacting, not so much just moving and shaking for no reason. So I know this is a bit of a tangent, it's a bit of a rant. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the time that I spend. I mean, I hope you're able to get something out of the time I spend yammering. Put it like that. I hope you're able to listen to what I'm saying and listen to my kind of free form, not 100% cohesive thought, and still get something comprehensible from the situation. So, you know, that's, you know, let me know in the conversation if you actually learned something from this conversation, and if this spurred anything in your mind and kind of pushed you in any specific direction. And let's dialogue about your feels versus my line of thought, or if your line of thought is in line with my line of thought. That's still good feedback. I'd still like to know that you think in a similar way, and that's why you have success, and that's why you have, you know, your success and failures come from similar situations. That's why my failures come from me always trying to win that micro battle, even if sometimes I see my opponent bum rushing after he gets a rock. Sometimes I kind of like do stuff during that rock, like I take chances in that rock just so I can try to make something happen. I won't just sit in that rock and go, well, he rocked me, so I might want to just take a couple on the hands and just kind of hang out and move around. Like, I'm still looking for things. I'm like, okay, 1-2 uppercut, 1-2, okay, 1-2 uppercut coming again. I'm gonna try to slip and try to counter while I'm in this rock. Like, that's how my mind is working in those situations. I'm like, I'm gonna look for this opportunity. Up, didn't come, got knocked out. Oh well, at least I tried. That's the way I think. That's the way I'm trying to. That's the way I try to play, because sometimes you get some of your craziest moments in those situations where you have to make a bunch of snap decisions, and then you make the right snap decision. You make the right decision just in that situation because you looked at you observed the information in front of you and made a cohesive decision, and then that decision worked. And those are beautiful. Those are absolutely beautiful, and those reactions are deadly. So, you know, see you on the next video. That'll be tomorrow with another fighter request, and then a battling with the bros. I'm not sure whose episode it is this week, but I still have a few cooked up from way back when, so those aren't nearly as fresh as the gameplays you've been getting are. Like, my style, I mean, I don't think I've made too many adjustments. I don't think I've changed that much in the past few weeks. I mean, I might make a little here and there different decisions, but for the most part I don't think I changed too much in the past like month. So, which is kind of weird, but I don't think the game has changed that much in the past month. I don't think a lot of players have changed their style in the last month. I haven't seen anything new come out of someone that was unexpected and that I had to like make an adjustment to, other than the body knee situation that was earlier this week. But other than that, I haven't seen, and I had seen that before, so that wasn't like that was fresh. So I haven't seen the game adapt in a way that I have had to make any sort of major adjustment. So until next time, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.